Christian clubbing, and a mother and daughter sharing a man.
On this episode of Simply Necessary Conversations.
So I have been seeing this in pop culture news. I have also seen this in regular news. AP News actually did a whole feature story on it. And the headline for the article that they wrote was, "No twerking, drinking, or smoking, but it's still a party at this Christian club." Apparently, there's a new Christian club in Nashville that has people talking. Some people feel like it's inappropriate and blasphemous, I guess, and other people feel like it's a good outlet for Christian youth to still be able to experience their 20s and their youngness or whatever in a very wholesome, moral environment. Mm-hmm. So, what do you think? Can Christians go clubbing?
I think that's the problem. I think calling it a club makes it too worldly for certain people, even though regardless of what you call it, as long as you're doing wholesome things or not doing unwholesome things, it should be fine. But I think there's a saying in church, and I'm trying to bring it to mind, but like appearing to be like the world for some people is
abstain
a problem.
From the very appearance of evil? Is
that but there's something, I can't think of what the scripture is, it'll come to me. But yeah, I think the problem is calling it a club. Like if they called it, I don't even know what other word you could use, but that is what people are getting stuck on.
I don't think that it's like amoral for Christians to club as a regular club. I don't think that there's anything wrong as long as you're doing things that align with your values. Yeah, and you're not acting out in a way like just because you go. There have been times when I was in college that I would go to a club, didn't drink, danced, had fun with my friends, and I didn't do anything that would have been unchristian like of me. Yeah. So I feel like there's not really a need for there to be a Christian club. But you can just go to the club as a Christian if you choose to.
Because I can get with the concept of having a Christian club, and I get where they're going with it. Because in theory, at a Christian club, they play dance music, but there would be certain music that they're not going to play. So they could play popular music. They would just avoid the music that has explicit lyrics. They would avoid the music that encouraged promiscuity. They would, certain music they would avoid, but you could still play popular music. There's tons of it that does not have the elements in it that someone would consider to be not Christian-like. So I get the concept of a Christian club.
But I feel like if you want to gather with like-minded individuals in a moral sense and have good music, just go to church. Well, is that not church?
But okay, well, I'll use me for an example. I grew up in the church. I'm not a member of a specific church right now, and I'm not going to try to pretend like I go to church regularly. So, but I like to turn up. I also don't like some of the vulgar, explicit lyrics in music. So if there was somewhere where I could go dance, have a good time, and I know you're not talking about for my generation, but just let's use our sanctified imagination and pretend like I'm in my 20s again. Mm-hmm. So in my 20s, even because I've never been a drinker, I've never been a smoker, I've never been like out there, like, as they say, be in the world, but not of the world. So that was me, still is. I would like, I say it all the time. I wish somebody would have a party. I wish somebody would do something so that I could go dance, have a good time. Because I feel like Christians can dance. I feel like, and it doesn't have to be a holy dance all the time. Sometimes you just want, because I'm a grown woman. So like, I just want to turn up, have a good time. But I also don't want to hear the rump shaker music. I don't want to hear the cursing. I don't want to hear the stuff that Cardi and Meg and all of them are going to talk about. No judgment to people that listen to that.
I mean, I have people that listen to them occasionally. Well,
actually, a little bit of judgment because I just
You're judging me for listening to a little Cardi B?
I absolutely am. And as I tell you when we're at home, your mama. So anyway, I don't want to hear certain music, but I still want to be able to party. So a Christian club would provide that opportunity for young people that are raised in Christian homes.
I understand it, and I think it's fine. Like I don't see anything wrong with it if you choose to do that. Me personally, if I want to go to a club, I want to go to a real club, not necessarily because I want to drink or smoke or twerk or whatever, but it's just like, sometimes I want to listen to Megan Thee Stallion and just like have like a regular person moment.
But if you think about it, the majority of Christians that would be in our family or friend circle, they're not so heavenly minded. They're no earthly good. Like they go to church, but they also will turn up.
There's the levels to it because I know Christians that don't like to listen to the hot girl music or not even just. And I feel like there's an emphasis on hot girl music as being unchristian, but like any rap artist, any pop artist, whatever, they all talk about the same stuff, regardless of whether it's hot girl music or not.
No, not always the same. So like there's some people.
I feel like there's a different standard for, let's just say, Megan Thee Stallion and Drake. They talking about the same thing. Realistically, they're talking about the same thing.
Okay, well, but see, that goes back to what I talk about all the time. There's innuendo, and then there's just
Drake
being explicit. Well, I mean,
Drake says what he's trying to say.
Yeah, but
The Weeknd says what he's trying to say. Y'all just ain't hearing it.
And then the double standard comes into play.
That's what I'm saying.
Because sometimes it's just the double standard. You guys talk like that, but I personally grew up not being you. Now, we had Millie Jackson? Look her up. You don't know who I'm talking about, but the older people will know who I'm talking about. We had
y'all had Trina.
We had Trick Daddy Trina. We had those artists. Uncle Luke, like he started this whole, like he started that. They created the explicit lyric thing for Uncle Luke. So like I grew up with those artists, but there were one or two. Now it seems like every artist.
It's not every artist. There's a lot of artists, but I feel like if you're the type of person that want to see, like Cleo Soul, for example. Cleo Soul is a Christian artist. She doesn't make gospel music, but all of her music has some tie to like either God or self-empowerment, women empowerment, all of her stuff. I don't think she has an explicit song, and I love Cleo Soul. So I feel like if you, like Snow Allegra, she don't really have explicit things in her music. If you seek out those artists, if you're not solely consuming the hot girl music, then you will find them. It's just that
but you're making the point. So I would want to go to, if I were a young person still, partying or whatever, I would want to go to a club that played music by artists like those artists that, or even they could play Meg and they could play Nicki, but play the non-explicit version.
This is my unpopular, maybe popular opinion. If I'm going to listen to a song that has the explicit version, I don't want to hear the clean version, because in my mind, I'm going to be hearing the words that are supposed to be there, and I'm just going to feel like the music is chopped up.
And I know the words, I use the words, I can tell some people some words, but for me, some stuff you do in private, some stuff is just not for public consumption and for public display. There's a time and a place for everything, because I'm very proud of myself. There are people that to this day, if you say, "Ooh, she uses all kind of profanity," they'll be like, "No, not her." That's because like I know where to do my stuff. But I just feel like having a Christian club or having somewhere where you can go and have a good time without the ratchetness would not be a bad thing.
I feel like what you're going to have too is you're going to have the holy Christians, and then you're going to have the in the middle Christians, and then you're going to have the people that's just loosely Christians, which there's nothing wrong with however you choose to live your life.
As long as whoever sets up or organizes the club or event is in control.
Where's the line? What can we wear to the Christian? Can we wear regular clothes, or do we have to wear clothes like we going to church?
Now, this is where I stand on the Lord said, "Come as you are." Now, you're not going to tell somebody what they can and can't wear.
Because I'm just saying, to a club.
Like, I don't think the club is going to be governed by how, like, because to me, there are certain things you should not wear to church. Now, I know some people will disagree. There are certain things that you should not wear to church. Even if it's in my closet, I might wear it over there, but
even if I'm going to a funeral or I'm going to a wedding and it's at a church, there's certain things I'm not pulling up to in a church.
But if it's just for social gathering or whatever, and it's not, tightly affiliated, it's not happening in a church building, then people wear whatever they want to wear.
But see, I feel like somebody gonna be like, "Ooh, why did Sherry pull up and she had on a crop top? This is a Christian club." Like, I feel like
they need to mind their own business.
I just feel like it's not a slippery slope, because you can do whatever you want to do and people are gonna handle it however they handle it. Yeah. But it's like, where's the line for the club? Like,
or it could be just like anywhere else or any social. They have dress codes. There's certain restaurants that you can't go in.
But there's ways that you can evade a dress code if you wanted to. You can, like, it could be like, oh, all women have to wear dresses and full length shirts. Like, what does that mean?
But here's the thought, though: if you are truly a Christian, which would be the reason that you would want to go to this Christian club, if somebody says to you, what you're wearing is offensive, or we would appreciate if you dressed with a certain level of modesty to come here. If you're truly a Christian, you're going to say, "Oh, okay, let me abide by the rules. Let me respect this."
Or I would just not go.
Or just
some people are crazy.
Yeah, or just don't go. But don't show up at the Christian event or club or whatever and stuff and want to act in a non-Christian fashion.
No.
Know when you go. Just like you wouldn't go to the club with a church hat and suit on. respect where you are, dress appropriately for where you are. So like, I feel like those kind of things would not necessarily be issues. It would be interesting.
I don't think it would be issues, but there's like, there's some churches where women aren't allowed to wear pants.
Okay.
And then there's some churches where women are allowed to wear
and
pants.
You know, when you go to that church, what the rules are.
What I'm saying is like, I wonder what I would want to go.
The mix would be.
I would want to go to the club in Nashville just to see what is the vibes. Like, are we chilling or are we like really stuck up?
I feel like those hardcore dress has to be down to
they're
your
not
ankle.
Like they're not
going to go there anyway. This is for the God is still working on me people.
I don't even think it's the God is still working on. I feel like Christians get like the rep of being like very corny and very like whatever, but I like all of my Christian friends. I don't think we corny.
I know I'm not corny.
I mean, I'm sure there's some people that think I'm not Christian enough.
There's some people that think I'm not Christian enough. There's some people that think I am as corny as can be. Guess what?
Which is really funny when you think about it, because there are definitely like half of my friends think that I'm like the most prudish, Christian-y, churchy person ever for some reason. And then my like super churchy friends think like, oh, like you doing a little too much, girl, ain't you?
Point being, there's always somebody that's going to try to stand in judgment. As long as I'm happy with me, I'm happy with me. You can do whatever you want to do with you.
If you want to go to the Christian club and turn up to a little Kurt Franklin, then you go ahead and do that. That's your business, as Miss Tabitha Brown would say.
Take the shackles off my feet.
No, because Mary would get me.
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
They would get you right in the Christian club. So let me put y'all on. This is gonna be a little bit of a different. Let me put y'all on. It's gonna be like a dissecting a movie and telling y'all to watch it just so y'all can form an opinion of your own type. Let me put y'all on. So would you? I don't want to mispronounce the movie name because you said I mispronounced it earlier.
Mea culpa.
Mea culpa. It's the movie with, I forget the male actor, but you know, I know Kelly
Rowland.
Even
know I don't know what his name is. That's the first time I ever saw him.
I'm sorry to
but everybody knows what you're talking about, the Kelly Rowland movie.
The Kelly Rowland movie, my celebrity twin apparently, because everybody be telling me I look like her. But she was in the movie. The movie was a movie. It was definitely a movie. They definitely used some cameras and they used some lighting.
Was a lot of action.
There was a lot of action.
Yeah.
A lot of action. If you know what I'm talking about. But I thought that first I want to start off with the positives. I love when Black people are on screen, period. Rooting for everybody Black. Kelly's outfit's amazing. Like she was putting it on the whole movie.
Yeah.
I thought the chemistry between the actors was good. Like the way that they interacted with each other made sense. The chemistry between the actors was good. And I also thought the cinematography of the movie was good.
Cinematography was excellent.
The cinematography was like, because you know sometimes when you think of a Tyler Perry movie, you think like very like Medea, you think very, and
it looks very homey.
It looks
probably
and
intentionally.
I think intentionally he wants it to look homey because that's his style. Like that's how he makes his movies. But this movie was very different from his other movies. It was like
it was stylized.
Yeah, it reminded me of like, not in the same way because it's a thriller mystery movie, but it reminded me of the way that Love Jones was. Was
I think that was the vibe they were going for.
It was kind of giving like 90s romance directorial things going, like almost like The Perfect Find, or that's not the movie I'm thinking of. Is that the movie I'm thinking of?
I think so.
I'm thinking of the Photograph. That's the movie that I want to say.
Okay.
It kind of has that vibe when it comes to the cinematography, but the plot, I had some problems with the plot.
It was like somebody started out with a good idea, and like halfway through the movie, they were like, I don't know what to do. What you think we ought to do?
And even too much was going on.
You know what? It was like somebody got jealous of Get Out and decided that they wanted to try to mimic it at the end of the movie. Like it was not my cup of tea at all.
I just feel like everybody was talking about, ooh, the plot twist. I felt like the plot twist was just like, it was almost like if you were singing the ABCs and then all of a sudden at the end you said 1, 2, 3.
It was really
makes sense.
But I'm telling you, it was almost like 3 different movies in a certain kind of way. The first part of it was a certain movie, and then in the middle they took a direction, and then at the end they were like, you know that movie Get Out? Let's do something like that.
Because it was like the first part.
Crazy.
The first part kind of reminded me of Insecure a little bit. Like the vibe was getting a lot of Insecure vibes. Shout out to Miss Issa Rae, one of my biggest not role models.
Yeah,
I don't know. Yeah,
you can say role model.
it was very much an insecure vibe. Mm-hmm. Then in the middle, it was given like Fatal Attraction. It was like, what's going on? That one scene was giving Bridgerton, if you know what I'm talking about. It was a lot going on. And then the last half of the movie was like you said, it was like Get Out. And I was confused, and I was trying to figure out, like, it was one of those movies. It was like when I watched Nope, where it was like, now I got to Google what the ending means because I'm confused.
Yeah. And okay, I'm going to say something about the movie. This is a spoiler alert, just in case it's a spoiler for somebody.
Spoiler alert.
So don't listen.
But it's on Netflix, so if y'all haven't seen it, y'all should have seen it by now.
Even down to the ending of the movie kind of didn't make sense to me, because he came across like he was surprised by something. He knew that he had been with the sister-in-law. Like, somehow they tried to make it seem like...
Oh, like the part where it was like Kelly and the sister-in-law was with the same person?
Wouldn't he have known that? It was just weird to me.
I didn't understand that part, because I was just like, but wouldn't that be weird of you to fall for the same person? Like, it just didn't make sense.
It was weird. And then I'm going to just say this. Some people like to see people active in a certain kind of way. Evidently, it does something for them. And it seemed like certain people were like, "Ooh, it was good."
One scene in the movie,
because there were people that specifically said, "Oh, those scenes." I don't.
You could tell.
To me, it wasn't even soft porn. Like, it was just
you could tell
porn.
who is into voyeurism by who said they love the movie or not.
Kinda.
Because I'm just like, I was a little uncomfortable.
It was very uncomfortable
long.
in that. Okay, as a grown person. Okay, this is going to be surprising to some people. Mom, cover your ears. As a grown person that has been sexually active, I know you're especially shocked. As a grown person,
how did I get here?
Like, I'm trying to figure out, like, why did we need to see...
I understood.
Other than to say, here for the guys, here for the girls that just like to watch other people. It was explicit sex for no reason. It didn't move the plot.
Because I felt like they could have cut it in half. They could have done the artistic part of this sex scene without doing all of what they did.
And it was very illogical in that, okay, Kelly, I'm going to just use her real name.
Yeah, I forget.
Her name was Mia. Okay.
Duh.
Okay, Mia. So you just saw him and her.
Disgusting.
Like, in what world? But then again, I don't get down like that. So maybe in the world, that's what people are doing.
But some people do that.
But it was just... I just didn't like it.
What's amazing to me is that there was a literal... In the home, like, there was a little part where, like, it was like a club of some sorts with all these, like, weird, freaky people. And nobody was talking about how weird that was because the scene was so unnecessarily long. Like, everyone skipped over the first part of that being like, oh, that's really weird. They doing all of that.
It was not my cup of tea.
Everyone that said, every time somebody was like, oh, I love that, I was looking at them like,
not gonna lie, I look at you funny, especially females. And yes, that is very patriarchal thinking. Whatever.
No, I think the movie kind of made women look bad.
It made women look stupid because it
made women look very easily led and very because you confused.
Okay, and let's talk about it. So you're intelligent. You were intelligent enough to finish law school,
be a whole lawyer.
You are boss woman enough that you basically are supporting your husband, who is evidently unemployed. Like, you're supporting him, but all this man had to do was speak to you, and you just...
No, he literally said, put my number in your phone. And she folded.
And she just folded. That's why I'm single, I guess, because I guess this is why I'm single. Because if women are that stupid, if women are that dumb, if that's what you got to do in order to have a man or get male attention... I guess I'm gonna die alone because I'll never. It was just so dumb.
He didn't do the whole movie. He didn't do anything to make her want him.
All he had to do was be a man. It was good to the people that all a man got to do is just be a man. Cause like you got to, bro. You didn't buy me dinner. You didn't charm me with your intelligence. And I'ma just say it. He was fine, but he didn't look that good in the face. You know, dreamboat body shipwreck face, as far as I'm concerned. He wasn't all of that. I didn't find him unattractive, but like he wasn't all of that.
I was indifferent to him.
I just could not figure out. So all he had to do was speak, and you just jumped. Like, based on what? Is this what happens in the real world?
Because if I would have been in that situation, And especially since she was married. She
Well,
wasn't even
first of all, you wouldn't have never been in that
Well,
situation
I'm saying
because
if
I raised you.
No, I'm saying like if I would have been like the lawyer that he was trying to rizz up or whatever.
Yeah.
I would have just been like, you for real?
Like who
LOL.
No, when he said put my number, who you talking to?
No, cause I'm quick to like, cause I've been in situations where people have tried to flirt with me and like play it off like they confused, like they don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
But like I'm not that girl to be like, oh my god. I'll be quick to be like, why you said it like that?
You are.
You are. Anybody that knows me knows I'm quick to be like, why you said it like that? And then if they try to lie about it, I'm like, you know what you was doing. Anyway.
You're too blunt. Wonder where you got that from.
It's not even too blunt because like don't try to play me like a fool. Like don't try to like.
I just didn't like that they made her seem like she was so weak minded that all this man literally had to do was tell her what to do, and she just said okay.
No, it reminded me. I never did watch this movie either, but it reminded me of 365 Days, that movie where it was about the girl.
I don't think I saw that.
No, don't watch it.
Okay.
But it was about a girl that basically got Stockholm syndrome and like fell in love with the dude that kidnapped her. It kind of gave me a vibe of just like, this is for women that like to be
dominated,
told what to do. But that's not even. It wasn't even that. It was just. I found it to be like pathetic.
If they, because there is such a thing as a Machiavellian manipulator. There are narcissists that know how to love bomb a woman, and he literally did no. There was no build up. There was no like. She met him, got assigned his case, and within a couple days,
she was ready to risk it all.
She was ready to throw away everything for him. Based on what?
I was literally screaming. I was like, Kelly, no.
Based on what? Because
I didn't expect it to go. I thought it was gonna be like him trying to get with her. And like her maybe getting like assaulted or something. I thought that was going to be the twist.
Even if she had ended up falling for him, being attracted to him, there should have been some rationale behind there should have been he wooed her or he charmed her. No, he just was a man. And again, I'm going to say,
he literally like
just being a man might be enough for some people. But bruh, you got to come with
all he did was take off his clothes, and she was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Like,
anyway,
it was really weird.
Love Tyler Perry. Love Kelly Rowland. Love to see black people make movies. Love to see.
I just felt like there was some.
I just felt like the plot was very weak, and it was kind of insulting to me in a certain kind of way because there was no rhyme or reason for her to just fall for and take orders from this random man.
Mr. Perry, if you would like somebody to be a writer, director,
well, he probably ain't gonna like us because we just criticized this.
I will give him credit. I feel like he would like that we constructively gave him criticism while still admiring his work.
Well, and I will say, okay, so for me, the movie Jazzman's Blues, is that the name of it? So. That was a good
Tyler Perry movie.
Honey,
I love the Medea movies.
I'm still grieving Banjo. I think that was his name. I'm still grieving him. It hurt me so bad, y'all. That was a good movie. Jazzman's Blues. Watch that one.
Yes.
That was a good movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. But this Mea Culpa.
No shade, no tea, Mr. Perry. Like I said, if you need a writer,
love you. Yeah, and we know we're not movie critics. And for those of you that like the movie, we don't need you telling us why we wrong.
And it's valid if you like. If
that's your cup of tea,
you like
you're
it.
welcome to it. You can have my cup.
Speaking of somebody that took somebody else's cup.
Oh Lord.
I'm literally just going to read the headline, and I'm not going to talk about these people's specific business because I don't know their specific business, but it will be, a talking point for us.
Okay.
But based on the headline, Noah Cyrus and Dominic Purcell were seeing each other prior to mom Tish Cyrus marrying the actor, according to People magazine.
Well.
Now, we don't know this to be for real or for fake because, people be lying.
Yeah.
But just the idea that this could even be a rumor means that something had to have happened. And I just don't understand how your mama's still your man.
If nothing had happened, they would clear it up. Like they would be like, no, that's absolutely not true. And I haven't,
maybe they did, but I haven't seen it.
Well, I'm just going to say, and I'm going to try to make sure I don't say something.
Oh, wow.
Terrible. But.
The drum roll.
There is no world, universe, not on Earth 1, Earth 2, Earth 3, Earth 4.
Multiverse?
No multiverse. There is no situation where you could have dated someone and then they turn around and date me.
Absolutely not.
Not for all the ooh, I don't want to say anything that could be construed as me. Like, no, ma'am, no, sir. I have unfriended people on Facebook because I post a picture of you, male, and they heart it. There's nothing about they can congratulate you if you do something great. They can say what, but there's no world where a man that's old enough to be attracted to me should even be trying to look at you. There's no world where a man has expressed romantic interest in me should turn around and express romantic interest in you. And your little friends that still got milk around the mouth, better stay over there. Like, stay over there. There is no way.
I don't understand how that happens.
There is no way. And how do you explain that? You're over one night with my daughter and I walk through and all of a sudden you're like, no, I'm going to go over here and holler at mom. I don't get that is so disgusting to me.
I don't get how you get that close with somebody your daughter is dating.
Exactly. When did you form this relationship? How did this happen? And even if it happened, like say the daughter dated him, they broke it off, some time goes by. At that point, there should be a big red stamp on his forehead, unavailable, because he dated her daughter.
The only way, which would be impossible on one person's part, the only way is if they didn't know. Like if he met them at different times and neither of them he would have
aware.
To know. And
he would know.
Like, I don't see how a mother and daughter could be that disconnected where they don't realize that they have dated the same person.
Yeah, because in theory, because you are now an adult.
Yes.
I'm going to assume it would be an older man. So an older man that is equally attracted to young women and women that are age appropriate. Meet me.
Or like a 40-year-old is in between. Maybe like a 30-something-year-old.
Yeah, which would be way too young for me, by the way.
And way too old for me.
But anyway, in theory, he could meet one of us and you're my daughter. Like we're not twinning, but there are some similarities between the two. We obviously got similar personalities and attitudes.
It would still be very weird.
But in theory, he could meet you somewhere, find you attractive, meet me somewhere, find me attractive. But at the point that one or the other of us has engaged in conversation and expressed interest in that person, there's no way that he can go back and talk to the other one of us. And if, let's just say that scenario happened, met you, talked you up, I didn't know it. Met me, talked me up, you didn't know it. And then we find out, we both talked to him. At that point, we both got to wave goodbye to him. Because that would be very awkward. Him coming around knowing that at one point in time he was attracted to the both of us.
That's really weird.
But that's just how I parent at my house. You do what you want to at your house. That's your grown business.
That's just, I would cut.
That's your grown
I would cut
business.
My mama. I would cut you off behind that.
Yeah, as you should. Because there's no way.
I can't trust you around nobody.
When I hear about stuff like that, it disgusts me and it makes me wonder, how do you
I don't even like the concept of like, say somebody is married, they die, and then that person ends up getting with their like brother or something.
Yeah.
I think even that is weird. Because it's like the whole time you were like almost waiting for your turn.
Yeah, like that's weird. But no. Yeah, if somebody comes around, especially if they come around because they're supposed to be interested in me, I watch them. If I see them look at you cockeyed, they cannot come back. Like, and that's just how I feel about it.
Like too, like when you were dating somebody, I made sure to keep not in because I thought anything was gonna happen, because absolutely not.
Yeah.
But I just like you.
There's boundaries that should not be crossed.
I'm not gonna walk around the house in a certain type of way when you have male company.
And then you don't need to be fathered. The fathering part of your life is over with, as far as I'm concerned. You don't need to be fathered, so no, you don't need to be worried about her. And anything that you need to say to her, you need to relay it through me. Now, does that not mean, because we did, there's might be a time when we all go sit down, have dinner together. That happened. But they're not.
But I'm over in my little world and you over in your little world.
You just there for the free food.
Absolutely.
You just there for the free food and polite conversation, but there's no reason for you. And no, I just don't see it happening. I don't know how that happens. I'm disgusted by that. Maybe there's some extenuating circumstances
you don't even
that we don't know.
You're not even that close with my friends. Like
no, your female friends in a certain kind of way, like they'll call me Mama Craft or Miss Tangela, whatever, and kiki me with. But even your friends that I have gotten to know pretty well, because you've been Trapor, everybody hears you talk about Trapor. Even when there's something that I want Trapor to know, what do I do?
You always tell me to tell
Imari,
her. And then
Trapor,
I will be like, just text her. You have her number.
The only time
like, no.
I'm going to go direct to Trapor is when I can't find you, you're MIA. Then I'm going, hey, Trapor, where's Imari? Because I know you know.
Texted her because I know
where's
you know. Imari?
But even with that, I respect the boundaries of you and your female friends. I'm definitely not going to be, if you are talking to a guy I'm ghosting. I'm staying away from that situation.
You don't have any interaction.
The only time he gonna see me is if I need to threaten his life about something he did to you. Other than that, I'm out. I'm out. I have nothing to do with that. I'm out. I will take that free ride to the county jail about my child. But other than that, me and you don't have I'm gonna be friendly. I'm gonna be polite. I'm gonna make them feel welcome, whatever. Long as you do right by her, then I'm gonna do right by you. But there's not a whole lot of visiting that we need to do. So how would we become attracted?
I don't understand how you
other?
get that close.
I don't get it. I don't get it. I think it's disgusting. That's just my personal opinion.
But I guess a way that could happen in theory is this new poll, which will be our Ask a Gemini. But the poll revealed that nearly half of Americans aged 18 to 29 still live with their parents. Mm-hmm. And people have just been talking about, like, is that weird? Like, is that the new normal? Is that weird? Is there like a way for that not to be the new normal? Like, are we just evolving as a society to I'm stuttering, to where it's necessary that everyone just has to go through that phase between adulthood and childhood?
What's interesting is other cultures have done this forever. Like, other cultures have multiple generations, multi-generational
households.
It's common, because my logic anyway, the way I think about it, what's the sense in you now going out, paying somebody rent or paying a mortgage for an apartment, house, whatever, with rooms in it that you don't need, getting in debt in a certain kind of way, when we got a whole house where I can be on my side, you can be on your side, you're an adult, you come and go, whatever. I get privacy, I get wanting, to have your own life, whatever and stuff, but I just don't see the logic in it in a certain kind of way. And then the economy is saying this math is mathing in a certain kind of way where it's almost becoming necessary for people, because everybody doesn't come out with a lucrative career. Sometimes they need to stay home for financial reasons or whatever. So it makes sense. It's not shocking to me. I've seen it growing up. I've seen, my aunts and different people with their adult children living at home. I personally think as long as you can get along and everybody can respect each other within the walls of the household, it's not a big deal. And I think young people need to realize jumping out and getting an apartment or jumping out, getting a house, rushing to go out into the world, why? To be in debt? Like, it doesn't make a lot of sense.
I thought about it. I thought about all of my like close friends, or like at least friends that I knew their living situations, and all of them except two live with their parents.
Yeah.
And we're not talking about like two people. We're talking about at least like 6-7 people.
Yeah.
They all live with their parents.
Back in the day, it was common, but we also, especially in my case, got married young.
And I think that is
because I literally graduated from college.
That is the key difference.
2 weeks later, got married and moved out. So it wasn't as long of a period of time in a certain kind of way that, right out of college, I was out of the house. But with the new normal of people not getting married so young, people taking their time, not rushing into that, you're going to see that more. And I really think that it's smart, because you can bank a lot more money. You can go out whole footed instead of immediately.
I'm not going to say I love living at home, because who loves not having their own space?
Yeah.
But I am thankful that I don't pay you rent to live at home, and that I get to save all of my money. And it, like, for the most part, it doesn't really bother me, because if I leave the house, I'll just tell you I'm leaving the house. I'll be back.
And our schedules are kind of
our schedules are very different. And during my time off, I don't be home anyway.
Yeah.
So it's just like we still have time to where like I have the house to myself and you have the house to yourself.
Yeah.
And we stay out of each other's way. Now, of course, there's gonna be times when like we'll get on each other's nerves about something minor.
We overlap a little bit.
But like it's not.
It doesn't bother me. I guess because I'm the mom. And
it bothers you way less than it bothers me.
Because I never thought, and this is going to sound crazy to people, but I never thought there would be a time when I would forget that I was a mom. Like I would forget your existence. But there's times I'm in the house or whatever and stuff, and you'll text or you'll call and say, oh, that's right. She coming back. She's coming back.
That's because at one point I did live alone when I was in college.
Yeah.
So, and I think that was the hardest thing for me is I experienced living by myself, and I loved being by myself.
Yeah.
Like I love being independent and having my own space and being able to make my own rules. Not that like the rules are that different.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, because ain't nobody thinking about you.
Sometimes you will call me and be like, "Where you at?"
Yeah, to make sure you're alive. Like you
guess.
Always need to let somebody know where.
Guess.
Let me put this PSA out there. I don't care how grown you get. Somebody needs to know where you are at all times, because I tell you what won't happen. There will never be a news story where it say, oh, and she was missing for 12 hours. And then, somebody realized that they need to. No, I'm going to know where she is. I might not know what she's doing. I might not even know who she's with all the time, but I'm going to have some general idea. And the friends and certain family members have that location. I only ask for it in an emergency. Otherwise, I mind my own grown business.
You will be quick. If you call me twice and you text and I don't answer the phone,
that's
you're
right.
quick to be like, where you Mari at?
Tripora, can you tell me? And Tripora will give me the full. I love you, Tripora. She will give me the full report. She's on her third trip around Lake Mirror, Miss Tangela.
No, I remember you did this to me twice when I was on a date. Mm-hmm. You almost called a bowling alley because I had not called you back.
Sure did.
And I was just like, I'm perfectly fine with it. What are you talking about? And then you almost called. Well, no, you called me. I think maybe like 3 times, and I just didn't hear it. Mm-hmm. And we were going on a stroll downtown.
I will hit up Tripora. If Tripora is unavailable, I'm calling to say, Brianna, I'm going to, and I haven't bothered you yet tomorrow, but you on the list. I got your number too. I will call to make sure my child is still alive, and then once I confirm she's good, then that's all I need to know. What do I text me and let me know where you are, so if I wake up in the middle of the night and you're not here, I know you are alive. And other than that, we're good. And anybody that thinks that's too much or that's helicopter parenting or whatever, I think you're an idiot, because I don't know where my child is. I don't really
even mind it, because I'll do that to my friends. If one of my friends entrusts me with the knowledge of like, hey, I'm going somewhere and I didn't tell so and so, or I didn't tell my friend or my boyfriend or my parents or whatever, for whatever reason, if they tell me they're like, I'm supposed to be here from this time to this time, if you don't hear from me, then check. I'm quick to be like, where are you?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
That's a component. That's a positive component to adults living. Think about the number of news stories where it was, oh, and she was in the apartment or he was in the apartment for 3 days and nobody knew. Not gonna happen with Imari. Yeah. Not gonna happen with Imari, because I'm gonna know after 3 days, 3 hours. What? Where you at? What you do? Unless you tell me I'm going to do blah, blah, blah. And I know that's going to be what, like I said, text, let me know where you at. So if I wake up, you're not here, I know you're good. But that whole adults living at home, sometimes even mentally, I think it's about, think about during COVID. Let's think about Ms. Risa Tisa. Those people that would have had to quarantine alone or be alone and stuff. Everybody
making dumb decisions.
Yeah, like making dumb decisions because they're desperate and need somebody in their life. Like, no, we don't have to. There's sometimes when we literally don't see each other for days, but we communicate by text or whatever and stuff. But I know kind of where you are. I know you're safe. You know that you don't have to worry about eviction. You also know from a couple times a week you're going to get a home cooked meal, because I'm not cooking for you every day, but if I cook, you're welcome to have some. Like, there's certain perks to that. And then also, I cook a couple of days out of the week, and then I can say, Imari, I didn't cook on your way home. How about bring something?
Yeah.
It's sad, but like, kind of like a two income. No, it's not sad, but we're a 2-income household in a different kind of way. Right now it's working. It's not going to be forever, because I know
it is not going to be forever.
Because I know sooner or later you're going to be booed up with somebody. But
I can guarantee it's not going to be forever.
But it's just one of those things where I feel like adults living at home makes sense if the adult parties can get along, not get in each other's way, respect each other's boundaries and rules. Yeah, I don't see anything wrong with it. And I think, and then for the parents that charge your kids rent, if the rent is necessary to maintain the household, whatever, that's fine. I'm just in a situation where I don't need to charge you rent, but you could trust and believe if rent came due and I didn't have it, I'd be hitting you up. Like, where is it at? So I think everybody has to work out their situation. But
I mean, don't raise, like, the only reason you're allowing me to stay home rent free is because I graduated extremely early and I already have a job that is setting me up for my career and success.
I'm just personally of the mind, I don't need your money.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, if I was a bum that just wasn't doing that with my life, you'd be like, get out.
Everybody has a job to do. It's either working to earn money or working on an education. When we had a dog, if the dog didn't bark when the dog was supposed to bark, no kibbles and bits for him. So like everybody has a purpose in the household. So I feel like, there has to be a reason, there has to be a goal, there has to be certain expectations and stuff.
Yeah.
And I am a little bit, I'm gonna be honest, if you were a boy, I'm copping to it. If you were a boy, I probably would be a little bit more, I would be on you a little bit in a different way. And then I also feel like, because I'm very traditional in a certain kind of way, I feel like the man, especially if they want to be a man and not just male, they want to claim the head of a household eventually, they need to put that into practice. So if you were a boy, I probably would, because the type of mom, I would probably make you pay rent, but I put that money aside for you for something that if I didn't need it, I would put it aside. I just feel like
I would do that for my future kids, but I would save it for like when they have kids, or if they have an emergency.
It's like the mom who had a son. The son was getting child support and didn't know it, and she put the money aside. And when he graduated or something happened, and she revealed to him she had, I forget how much money, but it was a large sum of money that she had because she didn't need his child support. So she put it aside for him so that when he got older, he was set. So like, I just feel like you have to prepare your children for the life you want them to have. Yeah. So even though you're living at home, you're not paying rent or whatever and stuff, you know the concept of paying rent. You know you're not taking your check and just blowing it.
Yeah.
I know where your money is going for the most part. I don't know where all of it is going, but I know where your money is going, and I think what you're doing with your money is smart. So like, I don't have any problem with that, And it's kind of nice that you are an adult and can contribute. Said
that. Like, you're doing all of this for me now, but when you're older and I am the only one that's going to be responsible for taking care of you.
That part.
I'm obviously
y'all see her put me in the Shady Pines,
it's not the Shady Pines, it's the Shady Palms.
Whatever it is, play this back for her. But
no, I already know that, in the future when I have my churns, they going to have to, I'm going to be like, yo, grandma needs something, so go over there and do it.
And they better do it with the quickness too. They better be quick about it.
I'm going to have amazing children, so I'm sure they will.
Yes, because they're going to have my DNA.
That's the only reason they're going to be amazing?
Pretty much.
Anyway, time for Gemini Gems.
I think you should go first. I always go first.
Why should I go first?
Because I always go first.
So it's traveling season, at least for us, because we're going to be traveling soon. And I always did this. I don't know where I learned this trick. I think you might have told me off something you saw on social media or whatever. Yeah. But when I'm packing, I'm an overpacker. If I'm going on a 4-day trip, I'm packing 8 outfits. I think I probably have 10 in my suitcase right now for a 4-day trip. And when you're flying, especially if you're flying and you only have like a carry-on personal item, you can't take a whole bunch of stuff. So you really need to make your stuff fit. So I always roll my clothes. Like literally, like if I have a pair of pants, I'll like roll it and I'll put it in my suitcase that way. And for some reason, especially for like shirts or dresses or whatever, it creates so much more space. And you're able to fit way more in your suitcase. And then now you got room for your shoes or your bathing suits or whatever the case is.
And some people might not. So if you picture, because this is, I don't know if you're doing this yet, but just for the people that are watching, our viewers, think toilet paper roll. Like if you stand those clothes up and like roll everything and stand them up.
I don't even stand them up.
I know you don't. That's what I was going to tell you. But you actually get rolling creates more space.
It depends on how big
and the roll is. And it depends on how big the roll is.
Because like jeans, you can't do that.
Yeah, some things that if you stand them up almost like a toilet paper roll, you can fit a lot more in. It just depends on what you're packing. But the rolling definitely creates more space in the suitcase. So piggybacking off of Imari travel tips, being the environmentalist that I am, every time you go to a hotel or when you stay in nice hotels or nice Airbnbs, they have the garment bags or the laundry bags for you. They're usually plastic and disposable. If you want to be environmentally friendly and also kind of help yourself out, pack an extra pillowcase in your luggage and use that for your dirty clothes. And when you return home, you can put the dirty clothes in the basket or in the laundry if you're going to do it right away. And then you just wash the pillowcase and continue to recycle that. That way you're not using multiple plastic bags. And you also have a fresh, clean laundry bag every time you get ready to travel. So get you a large pillowcase or something of that nature that's washable so that you are not adding to the landfills and like ruining the environment. So that's my Gemini gem.
Well, this is it for this installment of Simply Necessary Conversations. Hopefully y'all enjoy. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Period.